So welcome back to our videos about cooking in our RV, and today I am making some other dinner rolls that you can do with the Amish bread recipe, which is the previous video to this video. And so I'm going to show you how to make some pull apart dinner rolls, and then I'm also going to make cinnamon rolls with them. So I've already got the bread dough made, and at that point where we have it on the stove here, it's all puffed up. It's doubled in size. So if you go to the previous bread recipe, you can follow it and see where you get it to this point. So at this point, I'm going to punch it down and hold the dough out of here. I just want to have a tiny bit of flour on the counter. You want so very little because you don't want to be adding flour to the recipe. And I'm going to use a muffin pan today to make my dinner rolls. They're going to be a pull-apart dinner roll. And then I'll, of course, just use a small container for cinnamon rolls. So just want to give you some variations that you can do with this bread dough. So I have to stand on my ladder because I'm short. But you're going to take this dough after you punch it down, and you're going to just knead it real gently.
For how long?
Again, it's that 3-minute knead on your dough. But
Okay.
as you are kneading it, you're going to see how now that it's risen, it's got more of the gluten to it, and you just want to just knead it together just a little bit. And the thing about this type of dough, when I make my cinnamon rolls from it, I'm actually going to let the cinnamon roll dough raise just a little bit again while I'm getting my dinner rolls done. So I'm going to pull part of this out of it, and I'm going to knead this for about 3 minutes, or until it starts to feel just a little bit more soft. It's really soft when you first take it out of the bowl, but it'll harden up as you knead it, and you want to see it just slightly pull apart and stretch. Again, you're just continuing to help that gluten in the dough. That's almost done.
So we will come back as soon as she is done kneading it.
Yep. So now my dough is getting really nice. It's coming together really good. It's sticking. And see how it'll just stick together and it bounces right back? It's almost like a heart. I push on it and it comes back. So that's what I'm looking for, is for it to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take half of this roll, about half of this bread. I'm going to chop it off. And this is going to be for my cinnamon rolls, so I'm going to tuck it all nice and round again. And while I'm making my dinner rolls, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it back in my bowl that I took the dough out of, put my towel back over this, and I'm going to let it sit. I got my stove on, my oven on, let it sit on the top of the stove for a little while, and just let it rise a second time. It's not going to double, but it's just going to rise for just a little bit. While that's going on, I take my bread pan, so I forgot to butter it or spray it, or my dinner roll for my muffins, and I'm just going to lightly spray them so that my dinner rolls don't stick. And this is what I'm going to put the dinner rolls in. So for this, I start cutting it with my little choppy knife. I use a Cutco knife. They're really nice. And I'm just going to cut little pieces of dough. So they're in 1 to 2 inch chunks, like this. And then I take these little chunks and I stick them in here. And I do 3 or 4 of them to each one. 3 is sometimes big enough, but I want it to be about that full with dough in each one. So,
Okay, so
we
we'll
get all
come.
that done, we can come back.
There you go.
All right, so I'm almost down to the last one. I'm obviously going to have a little extra dough left over. So that dough is going to end up going in to the cinnamon rolls. And I need just a little bit more in there. So, but that's about how we want each one of these to be. It's about that full. About 3/4 full. Then I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to set it on the stove and put the towel back over the top of it. And while it's been waiting, I've been having a 1/2 cube of butter, or 3/4 of a cube actually, stick of butter. And I melted it on the back of the stove. But this is my dough that I'm going to use for the cinnamon rolls.
Just a second, I want to say something real quick. And she's doing all this because she's trying to make me fat. That's the only reason why she's baking so much. She's trying to make me fat.
That's it. Just because
And when she doesn't call me fat, she calls me fluffy.
He's fluffy. I'm tired of being the only fluffy one. All right. So now with this dough, I'm going to make cinnamon rolls. And when I let it rise just a little bit, it made it softer so that I can spread it. You don't want a whole bunch of flour or anything like that, just a nice clean surface. And you can spread it with your hands. But usually you're going to want to use a rolling pin. But because I don't know where my rolling pin is right now, sometimes you lose things in your RV. You got to be creative, so I'm going to use a coffee mug. So it's coffee mug time. So I'm going to roll it with my coffee mug.
Is it clean?
Yes, of course it's clean, babe. Gross.
No, the dog was just licking it.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's disgusting. Anyway, you don't have a whole lot of space in an RV, so you got to be creative. But I know I have a rolling pin. I just can't figure out where it's at.
Her rolling pin's like 14 inches long.
No, that's the one I gave our daughter. That was my professional
Oh, you're
one.
talking about the marble one that
Yeah,
Mom gave you.
the marble one that Mom gave us. I cannot find that for the life of me. I think it's in our storage unit. But anyway, cinnamon rolls, I don't want them huge. But I want to roll it out big enough that I can... I'm going to flip it over. Get that back. And roll it a little more. Because when you flip it, that helps to relax the dough. Also, is when you're making something like this, you want the dough to be relaxed.
Well, if you want to relax, just put some pot in there.
Alrighty.
Just
definitely
kidding.
be relaxed. Somebody will be relaxed. Anyway. Alright. So, about like that. It does work better when you have a rolling pin. But if you don't have a rolling pin, you can always improvise. So, that's my thing. I'm always about improvise if you don't have what you need. So here's my butter. I'm not probably going to use all of this, but I'm going to take this like this.
She
And yes, I
measures
do.
precisely.
Yes, I precisely measure. Don't ask my children. Every recipe comes out exactly the same.
Not.
But you want a nice amount of butter on there, but you want to have a nice edge that you can seal still. So I didn't quite use all of that, so usually it's about a 1/2 stick. I always do a little bit more because I can always use the butter in something else. And I'm going to take my brown sugar. Usually it's about, for something this small, it's probably only going to be about a 1/2 cup to a cup of brown sugar at the most. But I'm going to put a nice coating of brown sugar on here. Use my right hand instead of my left so you can see a little bit better. And just break up the brown sugar, which is always yummy. What you guys laughing at? Okay. My precise measurements. All right. So here we go. Then I'm going to take my cinnamon sugar, or my cinnamon, I should say. It's not sugar. Throw the lid on the floor. That's a That's the way you do it. Try not to cut myself here. Ah, good job. I'm still alive. If you can't get it off, don't be afraid to use your knife. Wrestle it into submission. And then I'm going to sprinkle my cinnamon on here.
How much do you put on there?
It's a nice coating, about like this. I don't know exact precise measurement on my cinnamon. I just get a nice amount of cinnamon. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a tablespoon of cinnamon, but you're going to shake it on there just like that. So now I'm going to take this edge, I'm going to roll it in. I'm going to roll my dough.
Where'd you learn to make cinnamon rolls?
I learned to make cinnamon rolls as a professional baker when I was 16, 17 years old.
Oh, so you probably think you know what you're doing, huh?
Well, sometimes I think I know what I'm doing. Then I take my fingers, I've left this nice little edge without any butter or anything like that on it, and I just squish that down, just like that. Use my fingers, and I squish it down.
Why?
Because I'm sealing it so it doesn't pop apart on me. And again, if you look at the dough, I can push my fingers into it and it pops right back up.
Do it again.
Push my fingers into it and it pops back up. That's when I know my dough is right.
Okay.
And good. Throw that in there. I have a feeling that I'm going to have more than I need for this one little pan. So I'm probably going to can. And I'm not afraid to improvise and just use whatever I find up in the cupboard. So I take it.
As long as it's oven safe.
Yes. And I'm going to throw off these little bits and pieces because look, there's nothing to it. There's no goodies in there.
Give it to Austin.
No.
Oh, we keep talking about Austin. There's Austin.
Yellow.
He's my youngest son. He's getting ready to go to Boise Bible College. Tomorrow he's leaving for Boise Bible College. So all y'all prayer warriors out there, be praying for Austin. And all you young ladies out there, he's single.
Oh, great. Matchmaking videos. That's exactly what we were doing.
I'm gonna laugh if it works.
I'm gonna cut these in about 1-inch pieces. 1 inch across. I'm gonna tuck them right in there. We get about 9 of them to this. So when we end up with this left over, one of the little things you can do.
Won't those cinnamon rolls expand?
Yes, they will. They're gonna expand up because I've tucked them in there nice and snug. So I'm gonna grab this bread pan.
Okay, that's a bread pan, not a cinnamon roll pan.
I know, sweetheart, but I'm showing what you can do with this extra stuff. That
But it's a bread pan.
Okay, but we're going to make a pull apart. Okay?
You can't make a pull apart. There's a cinnamon roll.
It's a pull apart. Once I'm done with it, it'll be pull apart if I don't pull you apart first. So then I'm going to go like this. And I chop these up. And go like this. This is my extra amount of little dough that I have.
Oh, you did this at the bakery, didn't you?
Yep. You don't ever waste any of your bread. And our customers loved the pull apart. It was one of the things that would go the fastest. Was the customers would come in and they'd want that pull apart bread. Because you just pull the chunks off of it. And you can go online and look for pull apart recipes. You can do them with biscuits. All different types of stuff. This one's not going to be real big because there's not a whole lot of dough left over. But it'll swell up and we will put, I just usually will put a glaze on top of it or a cinnamon roll, just some cinnamon roll icing even. And it turns out really good. So then these, again, back over here on top of the stove, one there, and put them here. And
how are you gonna let them sit there? You gonna wait for them to double?
Yes, these are both gonna double. So the cinnamon rolls are gonna come up to about the top of the pan, and the bread, the pull apart, it should about double, and the rolls will swell up just a little bit. So we're gonna come back in the next video. We're actually gonna make bagels. So,
but are you gonna show them how to make the icing and stuff?
Yes, we will be coming back and making the icing. So we'll make icing, and we'll put icing over the top of them after we get done cooking them. And they'll be in the oven for the cinnamon rolls about 20 minutes to half an hour, and the dinner rolls take 15 minutes.
And the bagels are, it's going to be a different video. So be sure and keep an eye out for that.
All right. Hi, we're back. And so now we have our pull-apart dinner rolls. As you can see, they've swelled nicely out of the muffin tin. Our cinnamon rolls still have a little bit more proofing to do, and so do the pull-apart.
The pull-apart looks like tater tots.
It does sort of look like tater tots with seasoning. So I'm going to leave those here on the counter.
Oh, look. Austin wants to look.
You want to see?
He didn't see.
Oh yeah, they do look like tater tots.
So I'm going to leave those there, and I'm going to put the dinner rolls into the oven. And I need my...
But when those get out,
Then the other
there has to be 2 tasters. There's one right there. Professional taster.
While I'm waiting for those to come out, I'm also going to make some icing for the cinnamon rolls as well. So, all right. I just have to have my step stool, because when you're short, that's the lifesaver. All right, 20 minutes.
These counters are only 24 inches off the ground.
Whatever. They're really tall.
These are actually tall counters.
That's right.
It's super nice.
All right. So now I'm going to do 20 minutes on my timer. There we go. We'll see you in just a few minutes, and we'll make icing as well for the cinnamon rolls and the pull-aparts. Welcome back. So now I'm going to take the dinner rolls out. Timer's going off. I'm going to take the dinner rolls out. Woohoo! Oh, those look really good.
Oh
Nice
my
and
goodness.
Puffy.
Oh
That's
wow.
So
Austin ran to the store, so by the time he gets back, they will be cooled down.
and these are the
Holy smokes!
pull-aparts and the
Look
cinnamon
at that
rolls.
one. That one's like on steroids.
Well, I squished them in there a little bit because I like them to rise up and not have a hard crust around the edge. So I squish them together so they rise up in the pan, and then I won't have a hard crust on them.
So why don't you like a hard crust around the edge?
Because it's hard to chew, and I don't like a hard, chewy crust. It'll have chewy crust on top.
Okay.
I like it to be soft. So
do I.
all right, so I'm gonna put my pull-apart in there, and the cinnamon rolls are gonna get ginormous.
They're like gonna hit the top of the oven.
Hopefully they don't hit the top of the oven, but there they are.
Right
Gotta
there.
show this. Where I let all my heat out. Okay, I turn that up just a little bit. All right, there we go. And then I'm gonna take this butter, a little bit of extra butter left over. Let me grab my well, there it is. My brush. Got my little brush. And since I had the extra butter from the cinnamon rolls, I'm going to just butter this on top of these dinner rolls like this.
So we can have a little bit of dinner roll with the butter.
It's right. Always have a little dinner roll with your butter. There you go. Oh, these look really yummy.
They do.
When Austin gets back and the cinnamon rolls come out, we'll have to have a tasting party. And here in just a second, I'm going to make some cinnamon roll icing to go on, buttercream icing to go on the cinnamon rolls and the pull-aparts. Yum! Mwah!
Okay.
Ah, we're back. All right, so here is our dinner rolls all done. And well, you can pop them out. So what I like about this, it's a Teflon pan.
Let me see the roll.
There's the rolls. Whoop.
Tasty, anyways.
The Teflon pan, you can just pop it up like that if you want to get your roll out if it gets stuck. These are some of my favorite pans. You can get them pretty much most any bake store. And then here is the roll.
Give it to Austin so we can taste it.
Taste test.
It
Done?
Yep.
Perfect?
So, tell me your experience with the pull-apart bread.
Oh no, it's like savory. With the butter, it really helps.
Mhm.
But it's really, I don't know.
Is it soft?
Yeah, very boingy.
It's squishy.
Yeah, but nothing like you'd ever buy in the store.
Is
For
it
sure.
light and fluffy or is it really dense?
Light and fluffy.
Good. That's the only one you're getting.
Can't knock somebody out with it.
They're not meant to be stones.
Can't break
So-
someone's window.
No breaking anybody's windows. So,
Give Laura a piece, so I want to see what Laura's reaction is.
maybe have a bite. They're so yummy. I love dinner rolls. They're really, really good. So,
I don't think Austin likes his. He's still stuffing it in his gullet.
he doesn't like it at all. Here, have the rest. Anyway, so I'm going to make icing for the cinnamon rolls and the pull part that are in here.
Okay, well, the icing's a different video.
Oh, okay.
Because we're doing the pull apart on one video, the icing on the cinnamon rolls on a different one.
Whoops. Anyway, we will see you back in just a few minutes.
You're on.
All right, so for my icing for the dinner rolls, or not the dinner rolls, the cinnamon rolls. Sorry, I still got dinner roll on my mind. So I've got a half cup butter. So it's 1 stick of butter. And here's my whip. I'm gonna throw that in there. Easy peasy. Then I got powdered sugar here. And I'm going to use 2 cups of powdered sugar. What are you doing?
Being a dork?
Okay, no dorky. We'll have to chop that out. All right, so I'm going to...
I ain't chopping nothing out. This is raw.
Raw! It's raw! All right, we're going to have 2 cups of powdered sugar and a half a cup of butter.
How much powdered sugar?
2 cups. And I'm using a half cup measuring cup because I didn't want to get it everywhere. All right. That goes right in there. And then vanilla. We also need milk.
What kind of milk you use?
I'm going to use whole organic vitamin D milk.
Thank goodness I brought milk today.
I
Yeah.
know, right? You are
Thank
on
you,
it.
Austin, for buying milk today.
That's right.
Straight from the cow.
And that's Velvet. She just got a bath yesterday.
All right. So here's 1 teaspoon of vanilla in my frosting, and then on the milk, we'll use that as needed for the consistency that we want to have.
So what do you say your thingamajobber on?
To start out with, on 2, until it starts to mix this up a little bit. Which
Why don't you just turn it on high right off the bat?
because it's very entertaining if you do that, because
That's what I was hoping.
you have powdered sugar going everywhere.
We can make
So-
Austin clean it up.
Whoops! I just spilled milk on the counter. All right, and more milk on the counter. So there's 1 tablespoon. You see how much?
I think
we
you put
ended
more
up
on the counter than you did
I
in the
know,
bowl.
right? Well, it's starting to come together. So for cinnamon rolls, I don't want a really thick. I don't want a thick icing. I want it to be a little thinner. But now I'm going to kick it up a little bit. Let the butter get whipped around in there.
That looks pretty thick to me.
Yep. Now I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to scrape the sides down so that I get the powdered sugar off the edges and everything. Scrape it all down in there. Scrape my thing off. Oops. Dropped something down there. Right. And then I'm going to add a little bit more milk. And you usually have anywhere from 2 to 4 tablespoons of milk, depending on the thickness you want it. So that's 3 tablespoons. And I like a thinner icing for a cinnamon roll. I like to whip it too, though. Whip it good. Oh. So I'll probably use the full 4 tablespoons of milk. Yep, 4 tablespoons. If you want a fluffier icing, this is just a real simple icing to do, and it comes out really yummy. So fluff it a little bit more.
So are you saying that this is the simpler icing?
It is a very simple icing. It's just a basic buttercream icing. But if I was icing a cake with it, then I would probably only put 2 tablespoons of milk in it, approximately, because I want it thicker so that I can decorate with it. But if I'm putting it on a cinnamon rolls, buttercream icing is going to melt, and it's not extremely thick, but it's got really good flavor.
It has excellent flavor. I'll vouch for that right now.
Like
oh my
that.
gosh, that's good.
It was very good. I washed my hands. I stuck my finger in my mouth. And since we're in the RV, I don't leave my water running all the time. You can sometimes only have so much water to use. So, my towel.
And what's that beeping for?
The beeping is for the cinnamon rolls. I pulled out the pull-aparts earlier. So I'm going to hit timer to stop that. Those are pull-aparts.
Those tater tots look good.
They look like tater tots a little bit. So now we're going to check the cinnamon rolls. And they have puffed up a bit. So, again,
As Austin would say, holy macanoli.
but here's that sound that we were looking for, where it's nice and
Just like with
done.
the loaf of bread.
It's like a loaf of bread, but it's not quite as hollow because it's pieces. So there's our cinnamon rolls, and there's our pull-aparts. So
How long do
now-
you wait to ice them?
Not very long. This one came out about 5 minutes ago. It's still a little on the hot side. So I'm going to turn this around.
Do you ice them while they're
And-
hot?
I like to ice them while they're hot. Ice them while they're hot.
So you're going to ice one right now?
I'm going to ice the pull apart. Yes. This one I'm going to put a thing over the top of. And this one I'm just going to knock out here on the tray. Still. Doesn't that look pretty?
The other side's prettier. The other side's prettier.
Oh, the other side looks really cool. Yeah, it does. So then I'm going to take my icing. And you can do it on either side. I've just pulled it out of there. I can flip it over. Whoop,
Yeah,
like that.
side.
And I'm going to take this. and
Austin's
I'm just
already
gonna-
coming over.
He's like, I'm on my way.
Food.
But if you don't wait
Food.
a little bit, if we don't wait a little bit, then our icing's going to totally melt because it is buttercream frosting. Get that out of there. All right. And it'll melt down in between the ooey gooey stuff in there, in the cracks and the crevices. Austin is drooling over
I
there.
don't steal the entire thing and run away.
You're not stealing the whole thing and running away. All right, you can pull an edge off. The way you do a pull part is you pull an edge off the side. So grab a hold of one and pull. Now, I don't like mine extremely sweet. Just a little bit of sugar, so they're not
That's
too...
perfect.
Describe the taste.
It's like a savory sweet, but not too sweet. Like your teeth are gonna fall out.
Not
So you're
very
not
much.
going to get diabetes from eating one of them?
Nope.
All right. So now you're going to film your dad while he gets to do one?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, honey. Pull one off of there. Uh-oh. There's a little nugget that he has to take from the bottom.
Oh my gosh, that's heavenly good. It's nice. It's soft. It's fluffy. It's not gooey. It is delicious. It is like manna from heaven. Sweet manna from heaven.
Yum, and they pull apart the little pieces.
Absolutely fabulous. Well, I stuff my face and we'll let Austin shut the video off.
What's messy?